Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. And I just got back from seeing the original Psycho by Alfred Hitchcock. This is the first time I've ever seen it. I'm gonna be completely honest. I was never that big of a fan of Hitchcock. Like, I saw North by Northwest because it was part of I watched it because it was part of one of my film classes at in college, and I never really cared for it, so I put off seeing the original Psycho for a really long time until my local theater in my hometown actually played it, where they only cost like $5 a ticket. So I ended up seeing it with my mother, fitting, and I really liked it. I honestly went in thinking that assuming that that they probably could have just had like one kill, and I still would have been okay with it, which they end up having 2 kills, which again, that's fine. It came out in 1960. I consider it basically like the first slasher film. I mean, I know that a lot of people consider like Halloween or like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre to be that, but like I mean, come on, you got a guy who's basically a serial killer in this movie, and even though the kills obviously aren't the main focus, I still consider it to be like the original slasher. But the story itself is pretty good. It's really more of a mystery thriller. There's not too much of like horror scenes in it. Like there are some scares in it that I think are pretty effective. Like, they're not jump scares like a lot of movies do these days. Like, they actually build up the tension. Like that famous scene where Marion, I can't remember the actress's name, she's taking a shower, and you slowly see a shadow enter the bathroom and then like pull back the curtain and raise the knife before the music even starts coming on. Like, it seems like that's just awesome for like horror movies like that, because like too many times like they rely on jump scares too much. And speaking of the music is great. Like, even aside from like the eek 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 like that, like the music is fantastic to listen to. Hitchcock, I mean, of the few Hitchcock movies that I've seen, like, Psycho is my favorite. I mean, obviously, it's basically a horror film. Like, I know what I said about, like, I don't consider it that much of a horror film, more like a thriller, but it still has a lot of, like, horror movie DNA in there. And and that's just my thoughts. Everyone else does great, especially Anthony Perkins as Norman Bates, and the fact that he plays technically both Norman and his mother. The twist, I already knew about the twist like years ago before I even saw this film, because like it's kind of been done to death. Like, I mean, you got South Park and Seed of Chucky parodying quotes from the film, if not outright parodying the plot, like that one episode of the owner of Shitty Walk. They did a straight up parody of that whole scene with Norman Bates' mother. But even so, even though I know what the twist is, it's still very effective, especially since like they built up that mystery of the sheriff telling Marion's sister, Lila, that Norman Bates' mother had died, despite there already being scenes of Norman's mother talking and seeing shadows in the house. And like there's even that scene like pretty much immediately after where Norman is literally carrying his mother down the stairs, and because of how it's shot, you don't see that it's a skeleton until that like famous scene at the end where Lila is in the cellar and she turns Norman's mother around, and it's just a skull with a wig on, basically. Um, again, speaking of that, like when Norman is actually like in his mother's dress and wig, the lighting was done. Spectacularly, where like they actually cover his face, especially during the shower scene, where he's almost completely a silhouette against like the white background. That looked amazing. There's really just not a lot for me to say. Like I mean, the only thing that I can really say negatively about this film, and this is because I've grown up watching like quicker, fast-paced like slasher films, is really the fact that like the ending explanation done by the psychiatrist, I feel like it's way too like exposition heavy. Like he kind of drags on and on and on, and I feel like maybe if they shortened it by a few sentences, it could have flowed better. But like that's really the only nitpick that I have about this film, because this is a great movie. I mean, I'm probably not gonna pop it in like every single October month to see it, but I'm not gonna deny that it's great. I basically have the same thoughts about like the original Exorcist, where like, I mean, I'm probably not going to rewatch it that often, but I will admit it's a great film. But those are just my thoughts on it. Like, definitely check this movie out, because like I said, even though I don't see a lot of horror elements with this film and would consider it more of like a thriller, like it really is basically like the OG slasher film, like before Halloween, before the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, before Nightmare on Elm Street and Friday the 13th. Like this is just a great film all around, and because of that, I think I am gonna start like looking more into like Hitchcock films. But that's really it for this review. It was a really short one. Just wanted to get all my thoughts out, and I'll actually see you guys on Tuesday, because I got a review of Halloween 3 Season of the Witch scheduled. So I'll see you guys then. Have a good one.